Is Danny. I'm the co-owner of Imaginat Photography, which I co-own with my husband. I've always been extremely interested in entrepreneurship. I remember when I was younger, I would hear stories about my mom who had her own court reporting business when she was in college. And then my dad had started his Spartan Laser. It's a metal fabricating company in McFarland. He started that with a really good friend of his when I was pretty young. That was actually my first official job. But before my first official job, I remember there was a couple of friends of my parents that they had their own restaurant in Madison. And when I was definitely too young to legally work for them, I spent a lot of time in the summer helping them make hash browns and other things in the kitchen. And I just remember thinking, like, these people were rock stars. I thought they were cooler than celebrities, and I just really wanted to be like them. I wanted to own my own business, and I just really thought that there was nothing greater than that. And I remember thinking that as young as 8 or 9, maybe. I was pretty young. I've always done a lot of entrepreneurial things even before I officially started businesses. When I was in high school, I was the only person in my entire school who was in both band and choir because it was the only musical classes that were offered at the exact same time. So I actually came up with a plan. I presented it to the administration and I got approval to actually be in both of these classes despite the fact that they were at the same time. Once I graduated high school, actually in high school, still my first job, I worked for my dad who had his own business. As soon as I got out of high school, I started doing Mary Kay. I started a virtual assistant business. I had a networking company called No Tie Networking. I've been a Beachbody coach. I've just pretty much anytime there's been an opportunity or I've found opportunities to be entrepreneurial in my life. And then in 2011, after I had gotten laid off from my job, my husband, who was already a photographer, who was not my husband at the time, but he was already a photographer, we took my severance and we started Imaginat Photography in New York in 2011. And I'm super happy to say I'm finally doing that full time, which is very exciting. And in addition to our photography business, I've also been running a blog since about 2007. I've written an ebook, and we have an app that we're in process of developing as well. So I would definitely say that I am 100% entrepreneurial, and I'm always finding new ways to explore and go on adventures.